mic, I think you're far from the computer, so
Okay.
probably, yeah, if you get closer, it would be better for us. So just to have an idea of the objective of the meeting now is to continue the meetings that we have in the past. Now this one would be more practical. That's why it's here with us Jorge and Cesar. They're here. So we received the document that you done about Evoke initiative, what you're expecting from the initiative, how it's working, and we analyze it. And we want to share with you, because in the other calls that we have in the past, we didn't have a deep learning of how is Karma working in Telefónica, what can we do with Karma, and we want to do with you through this session. And the idea is to have the better inputs that we have from this project in Telefónica. Sorry, I'm gonna accept some people here.
Yes, there are parts from the Colombia team.
Okay. I think we can trust in them because there are many people. I don't know where they come from.
Yeah, we can give you a brief overview of who everybody is very quickly. Maybe that would help.
Yeah, that would be a great idea.
Yeah, so Merck is our technical lead on blockchain issues here in the bank. Nathan is kind of product lead on this iteration of Evoke, and he's based in St. Louis. Jorge Cifuentes is our Scrum Master, kind of leading the development team in Colombia. And then Yakai is part of the development team that is setting up the blockchain aspects Colombia on the development team. Nicolas and Joseph and Camilo are all developers working on either the front end or the back end of the application, just to kind of clarify.
Okay, from here, Raúl, from Marketing Sectorial, we are the bridge between the World Bank and Telefónica and the units that we have inside. And here you have Jorge and Cesar.
Hi.
They are from the blockchain area here in Telefónica, and they are the responsible of the project Karma that we want to focus in this session. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you, Raúl.
Okay, so maybe we can start talking about what is Karma and why we have launched this project in the innovation area. I guess you have some briefing regarding with what is Karma, but what we would like to do this afternoon is to go deep not only in the functionalities of Karma, but also the technical aspects, the architecture and the building blocks that we are using to build Karma. We have developed in Telefónica to create Karma, and Karma is just one application or one use case that we are extending. We are trying to create some new instances of Karma in different areas in Telefónica, and also we are working with different clients to replicate what we have done here, more or less what we have done here in Karma, mainly in human resources and education areas in corporations, in big companies. So please, whatever question you have, please ask, because this is what we are doing here is just to help you understand how are we using these building blocks to create projects like Karma, and we think this could be help to achieve a proof of concept in a really easy way, but also to be able to move from a proof of concept to a real project. So this is why we are talking with you. So 1 year ago, we launched Karma. Karma is a project that want to identify the kind of employees that are working with different areas to help them in education, in volunteer activities, the kind of activities that they are not here in Telefónica to do. They are not supposed to do. They are not earning money because they do these activities, but these are activities that are really interesting for the areas they are collaborating with. So we would like to identify this kind of employees, these great value employees, and to create some kind of unique experience with this kind of employees and areas. So areas and employees has the unique environment, a unique portal, a unique website to identify the different activities that me as employee could do with this kind of areas, and the kind of experiences I can share with my employees. And when I collaborate with different areas, I'm going to earn some tokens. I'm going to earn some kind of coins, points, whatever you want to talk about it. So I can, I don't know how to say it in English, really mean, I can change.
Yeah.
I can change these kind of tokens, and we would like to be this a kind of experience. So we don't change these tokens or coins on points with something material. We can, for instance, the innovation director of NASA came here some months ago. So we would like that this kind of employees have the opportunity to talk directly with this kind of people. This is not something you can do in any situation, or you can see what is 42, which is an initiative that we have launched with Fundación Telefónica. So we offer this kind of employees to be able to visit 42, to talk with the students and with the people that have launched this project. So this kind of experiences is what we think is really valuable for this kind of employees. So what you're seeing here in your screen is the global intranet. Is this correct? Intranet.
Yes.
Okay. Global intranet in Telefónica, in which you can see the different information. In this case is the Cesar user. So Cesar has to log in the Telefónica intranet portal. And what you can see here is, first of all, the number of karmas. Karma is the token, the point that it's based on. On the left, you can see an animal. Cesar is now colibrí, sí que no sé. A bird.
A bird.
Okay.
Just a bird.
It's just a bird.
An early bird.
And the idea is that in any time you have some amount of karmas that you have earned because you have Cesar has collaborated with Fundación Telefónica in different volunteers activities. So he has earned 5 karmas, but maybe he can spend these karmas with whatever experience he wants to do. But in the last year, we have some kind of levels. So he's one of the employees that have earned little karmas here in the initiative. If an employee work with different areas and earn 10 karmas, maybe he can be the next one, no sé cómo se dice cervatillo.
Deer.
If yeah, this is a kind of level, is a kind of Gaussian. I mean, as much karma you earn in a year, you are a bigger animal. So the biggest ones, the most valuable employees in Telefónica are lions. And what we would like to do with this is you can spend your karmas with to be able to talk with the innovation director of the NASA, but maybe not just C-levels that are able to be in an event here in Telefónica has the possibility to do it, but also lions, because lions have earned the possibility to be with the C-levels here in Telefónica. It's two different kinds of seeing what are we doing here internally in Telefónica. On the right side, you can see the different areas that are giving karma to different employees, because some legal constraints, we cannot use the information of the employee, but the animal that represents the employee. So this is a kind of gamification. I know that Fundación Telefónica is transferring different karmas to different employees and also personas, which is our human resources. So I can see that something's happening inside the karma initiative. And also I can see how can I earn karmas. In every activity I can see which is the area that is interesting in identifying some employees that for instance, are able to participate in the volunteer day of Telefónica this Friday. So every employee that is going to give their time this Friday is going to earn 5 karmas. And if I push this button, sorry, if I push this button, I can see more information regarding what is this volunteer day in Telefónica, and I can apply, yeah. So here I can see the different activities, the different areas that want to identify some employees to work with, and also I can see how can I use the karmas I earn in these different activities. So for instance, I can know what is for it to Madrid. I can obtain some books of Ferran Adrià, and this is the amount of tokens, the amount of karma I have to spend to be able to access this kind of activities. So this is just an introduction. What we achieve here, or what the really important the really important knowledge learning in this project is this is not only valuable for the kind of people that wants to work in his spare time or with their family in volunteer activities, the kind of people that is maybe the right people to change the mind that Telefónica has to evolve, that the kind of relationships between Telefónica and the employees has to evolve. So we are going to identify this kind of people that we can work with them in different initiatives. And also we share a common space, we share a unique site in which I can know that there are a lot of areas here in Telefónica that do a lot of things that could be valuable for us. So maybe I'm working with, I don't know, some area teaching whatever to my colleagues. And I know that I can also work with Fundación Telefónica in volunteer, and also I can know that I can work whatever. So the kind of employees that are already working with different areas are going to work also with other areas, because this is the kind of employee that is working with us in this initiative. So this is I guess the third implementation of this project.
Are you awake?
Sorry?
Okay, what time do you have class?
Oh.
Sorry?
Okay, let's write down your schedule later and I'll help make sure you get up on time.
Nathan, you hear me? Go.
I don't know if you are asking something.
Yeah, we cannot hear you well.
Can I ask you one question?
Yeah.
So I understand that these animals are like level. So I start being a colibri, I don't know the word in English either, that little bird, and I can be a lion at the end. So I learn different karma.
There's a lot of noise there.
I can
Yes.
hear you. Sorry.
Sorry, Nathan, can you mute? Okay, can you hear me now?
I don't know why it was unmuting. I apologize. Happened twice.
No problem.
Very sorry.
Raúl and Tim, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Far,
so
but yes.
I start at level 1 being this bird, and I can be the lion, so I keep earning karma and I evolve. My question is, imagine that I'm an elephant, because I earn so many karmas doing things with Fundación Telefónica, I don't know, doing some volunteering work, and I spend 20 karmas in this Ferran Adrià book collection.
Yeah.
Level as elephant at that point, I keep that level, or as I invest or I redeem this karma, my level goes down again to, I don't know, maybe to a deer or to the horse, to the dirt again.
Yeah.
Or I keep my status as elephant even if I spend those karma.
Yeah, your status as elephant doesn't change. It doesn't matter if you maintain the whole karmas that you have earned or you spend the whole karmas. You are an elephant for a year. You are an elephant because you have earned for a year, just for a year. Because if you are working with a lot with this kind of areas for a year, but you stop working with them, you are not an elephant. So we take into account a year of activity.
I'd like to kind of give the opportunity for the technical team, Merck and Jorge. Y Jorge se puede preguntar en español también. Some of the technical issues around, for instance, are you on the Ethereum testnet instead of the mainnet? When they earn an ERC-20 token for each activity, is that written to the blockchain, or do you batch the writing of the blockchain? With the private keys, how do you handle kind of private key management and wallets for each of the participants? I know in your document you said you make that transparent, or that you make that hidden from them. But if you can talk a little bit about kind of how you manage
sorry for interrupting you. This is just an introduction.
How you do verification.
Yeah, this is just an introduction. What we would like to show you is how it works indeed. So the technology and the platforms behind that. So this is just the front end. This is just our intranet, and this is how our final users, our employees know about karma. But this is not how our areas know about karma, and this is not how our administrators, for instance, us, knows about karma. So this is a third level architecture. So this is just the first level. We can build something. In fact, we have built something integrated with the global intranet, because we have to, and because as I told you, this is the third evolution of a Karma project. The first one, we used a wallet, we used something much more similar to a kind of cryptocurrency, but what we learned is that the employees doesn't know how to manage with this kind of software. So our goal was to create something really easy to use for employees, so they can just click and they spend the tokens that they have earned, and they have to know nothing about it. This is just the first our MVP, if you talk about it. We would like to create a wallet. We would like we would like employees to be able to create their own marketplace. So if I know English, for instance, and you want to talk, you want to learn English, I can teach you, so you can pay me in Karma. So this kind of new evolutions of Karma are not already implemented, but are maybe the question that you have already think is I can do it with a database. Okay, you can, but it's much more difficult when we move forward to an open marketplace in which employees can spend Karma with another employees, and also we can spend this kind of tokens with different companies, and we are in conversations with different companies that are already using tokens in their education. So we can share tokens in another company to be able to, I don't know, visit 42. They can spend these tokens, their own tokens, to visit or to talk with the innovation director of the NASA, and also Telefónica employees that have earned Karma has the opportunity to access, I don't know, a different kind of education that is not here in Telefónica, but you can do it in this this company. So this is why we have built this on top of tokens and on top of blockchain. Okay, and this is just the first layer. There are two different layers behind that intranet. The first layer is the core of the Karma project. There is nothing about blockchain in this layer. So what we have is a database, is where we store information regarding what employees have enrolled in this project, and some information regarding the employees. And this is the database that we have to assure that is GDPR compliant and so on. So this is also the layer that both areas and us as administrators use to create some new activities, to create some new experience. And this is done using an API. We are going to show you the API, okay? So this second layer is using a third layer, which is a common tokenization platform that we call Trust OS. So the Karma application, the Karma layer, doesn't know anything about tokens, but how to create or to use these tokens or to transfer these tokens using a key that represents the kind of user that is using or that is going to perform some activity. So we have different users, we have administrators, we have users, we have areas. So an area has a limited pre-existent amount of tokens. So if I have 1,000 tokens, I can spend these tokens, I can send these tokens to employees that are working with me in any activity, but I cannot create new tokens. Administrators can create whatever tokens we want, can transfer tokens to different areas, and final users can see how many tokens they have, can share tokens to another user, but has a very limited functionality using this API. So what Cesar is going to show you is how it looks like. The API that is in this second layer, that is an administrator view of this system. How can we create new activities? How can we create new experience, and so on? And the third layer, which is the blockchain layer. And in this blockchain layer, we are using a hybrid platform. We use Hyperledger in the core of the platform, mainly because performance, and also because we have to assure that we comply with the different legal aspects regarding the activities, taking into account that in this third layer, I don't know anything about employees' mail account, for instance. I don't know anything. I just know an identificator, but it could be possible to get some information if I know anything about this kind of identificator. So we have to focus the legal constraints on the second layer, and the way we use this third layer is much more similar to a common token. If you know tokens in Ethereum, so you can create, so you can spend, and this kind of things, okay? So we are going to show you how can we use this third layer to send, create, and we are, in fact, we are going to create a token, and you are going to see how we have integrated this API in our intranet and the second layer. It's clear, or some question
before we start?
Yeah, when I said we are using a hybrid platform, because we are using Hyperledger for the core of the platform, but we want to assure that we don't cheat with the tokens. So yeah.
Just wrote the same thing. So
yeah,
may I ask a quick question?
Yeah, sure.
Is a user able to spend a karma immediately after they earn it?
Yeah, sure, you can.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then is it is there, it looked like in the document that was shared that there are some manual processes currently as far as importing, exporting.
Yeah, maybe we can talk about the journey of the employees and the journey of an area that we also participate with this initiative. And just to finalize the hybrid comment, we are using Ethereum also. We every 30 seconds, every minute, whatever time this is something configurable in our platform, we take some picture, we take a snapshot of what is happening in the Hyperledger, in the private side of our solution, and we publish this in Ethereum. So
okay,
you can see that nobody is cheating what we have in Hyperledger. In fact,
you're auditing.
Yeah, we have created our own explorer, so you can, I don't know if we can show it. Okay, we can show it next day, I hope. And you can really build a kind of proof of evidence that nobody is cheating with the information that we're storing in Hyperledger. Okay.
That's exactly what we're looking at. Is how to make sure somebody doesn't game the system, cheat, earn a lot of money.
Yeah.
And then thinking of scalability, that's a great point as far as GDPR, personally identifiable information, and where it might be fused.
Yeah.
Even
you cannot
accidentally.
use public networks because of GDPR and this kind of stuff. But this is a mix between the benefits of public networks and the benefits of private networks. And in fact, we have some patent pending in this, the way we have built this procedure.
Security process.
Yeah, to be more transparent and to assure our customers that nobody's cheating.
Yeah,
okay?
so it's secure in the third layer, compliant second layer, kind of connects the dots, so to speak. Sounds like. Yep, perfect.
Okay. So maybe we can see this second layer, or maybe we can show you. This is the API. This is the third layer enables you to use tokens and to track assets and this kind of stuff. We are working just with tokens, so the kind of API, the kind of things you can do with this layer is to obviously to log in. There are different privileges depending on the kind of user you are, and you can create tokens. You can check your balance. You can check information in. Okay, so we are going to do some kind of demo just to clarify how an application is using this API to use tokens in a really simple way.
So we are going to simulate an example. I have here an user I have created for this example. First of all, we have to log in. And it returns an API key to authorize us to use the API. So now we can use different functions, like for example, create a token. You can specify, you can set the name, the owner, the symbol, the Ethereum address in the case you can you want to take your tokens from the public network.
Yeah, you can this at the end in the Ethereum side. This is compliant with the ERC20, so you can maintain your tokens in our Hyperledger, or you can send these tokens to your account in Ethereum. Okay.
So I have an example here with Evo coins, and we're going to create Evo coin token. The owner will be us, and we are going to start to set the total supply to 1 million tokens. Okay.
The total supply is something we can modify in the future, and also we can do some things here that you can't in a public Ethereum network. For instance, you can approve a transaction from an area to a user, or from a user to another user, and you can reverse a transaction. Imagine you are an area, you are going to send 100 tokens to somebody, but you miss 0 and you send 1,000 tokens. So what obviously the area want to go back, and the user is going to able to see that somebody, this area, has sent them 1,000 tokens, but then there are another transaction that minus 900 tokens. So the final amount of tokens is 100, but the user can see and nobody can change it, that there was some kind of mistake. So somebody has yeah,
Until the error.
somebody has corrected this this operation. Okay, and this is something that our areas want to be able to do. So.
So we have deployed our chain code, which allows us to create and manage the token. So we can now use functions like see the token information, for example. You can approve someone to spend your own balance, for example.
You can transfer tokens. You can do mainly the same things that are included in the ERC20 interface in Ethereum, and also we have added some functionalities just to implement this kind of options that our areas want to be able to implement.
Here I'm allowing to bteam to expend 20 of our tokens. And the output is an hyperledger transaction ID and a message. So if I log if I log in like bteam, I can spend these 20 tokens from World Bank user.
Disables as there are some areas that doesn't have any knowledge, technical knowledge, so we impersonate, it's correct, the user ability to send tokens. So they let us to send tokens for them. Okay. So maybe it's not. We can share you the Swagger URL just to if there are some technical people here in the meeting. But I guess this is enough to get an idea of this kind of level, of this third level. Is a common interface to create, share, and control the life of these tokens. Okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I looked at your GitHub repository for this and just some of the basic Swagger stuff. Awesome. 2, transferring kind of on behalf of a user. So is that how you, that seems like that would be a way to not have an actual user or Telefónica employee to have any interactions with this at all. Are you using it for that purpose, or is it just a feature?
No, just for ADS. This is just used for ADS.
Okay, okay.
But the area has to approve that we can spend their tokens.
So is area like a department in the business?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like the marketing department or.
Yeah. They don't want to know anything about JSON and this kind of stuff. So
yeah,
we let them to use this platform, but without the need to know how to use this. Okay. So,
yep.
Yeah. There are a lot
so
of
they can approve the. Yeah. If I complete one of those volunteer activities.
Yeah.
They can approve that. They could say, yeah, give this person this much money.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So how is this working? Imagine an area and with 100 employees that have done whatever. Every employee is going to earn 2 tokens. So the area allows us to spend 2,000 tokens. And what they send to us is just a list of employees. And we are the ones that using a script that is Cesar is going to show you. And this list of employees, we can spend their tokens to send these tokens to the employees that have participated.
So something that's just as an interesting aside, Bob, is their departments could be analogous to, or their areas could be analogous to our partners that have a sub-organization inside Sunbird.
Yeah. Okay. And we can show this second layer, the application layer, or the Karma layer, okay?
So this is the layer who is consuming the token API. Here we have all the things of Karma, like users, activities, sub-activities, rewards, and authentication and token information, like world transaction, like all the history from the transactions. So, for example, we are going to log in here to make a simulation. I have here I have login as admin, so I can get all user. Now we don't have anyone because we are going to create two. So we have here an area user. We have created an area user which have permission. We have permission to create different activities, and so we are going to create another user that is not area.
It's an employee.
It's an employee, for example. So we are going to we can make different functions. We can initialize her user balance. We can get her user balance. Now it's obviously 0. We can get his level.
This is the API that what we have done in the Telefónica Global Intranet is using this API to obtain information. The portal that we have seen, the levels, the balance, the activities, and so on, is created sending requests to this API. Okay, so once the user, imagine Bob, okay, that we have already created. Bob is going to authenticate in our intranet. So first of all, the intranet is going to ask us, okay, Bob is a user that is already registered or not? So if not, we present some kind of information. You have to accept this blah blah. And if you are already a user, they request the balance, they request all the information, and also they request the current activities and the current experience. So we can draw the whole view of the Karma project for Bob user. Okay, this is the way the users through the intranet are asking for information through this platform using this API. Okay. So this allows us not only to integrate with the user view of the Karma project, but also the administrative operations. When an area wants to create a new activity they have just to identify some kind of parameters in this activity. So automatically the activity is created and is integrated in every view of the every user in the intranet, and also the rewards. So this is the way we can add information to the system without the need to share information or whatever. So we can the main areas doesn't have any integration or automation. So normally they ask us to create a new activity, but if you have your own system, your own portal, your whatever, you can integrate this and you can have your own administration portal to create some new activities, some new rewards, or changes something in your own activities. Okay.
So here we have to initialize the areas balance in order to they can transfer tokens to the user for participating in an activity. So we are going to give the area 1,000 tokens.
And every transaction has attached a string, a text, so you can know that, for instance, this is the initialization activity, and any user can see the whole history of their life in Karma. So I have earned 5 tokens because I've been teaching whoever. I've spent 2 tokens. I've earned 3 tokens. Somebody has removed some tokens because there was some kind of problem. I can ask this area, guys, you have sent me 5 tokens, but now I have 3 tokens. So there is a history both for users and areas using this kind of labels, okay, for every transaction.
So here we can see World Bank has 1,000 tokens. So we can check also the transactions. Here we see that the balance has been initialized for World Bank, for the area user. So now we are going to create an activity with which the user could obtain some amount of tokens. So I have here an activity. You can set an ID. The area they are going to is going to be the area user, and a short description, long description, the web, and the amount of tokens you earn if you participate in that activity, and if the activity is active or not. So here we have created the activity, and if you see here, you have a field of participants, and when a user push this button and the area push this button, automatically the participant, the user, is added to this field. So we are going to simulate the user is going to press the button, is with this function, participates in that activity. So we need the activity ID. I don't remember. Okay. And we have Bob. So if we check the activity information, we can see here that Bob has applied to this activity. when the area or the responsible confirm us.
Take into account that imagine we have an activity that is going to be in December, the holiday season, whatever. So we don't know how many employees are going to participate in this activity. So we are we let the area to know how is growing the number of employees that is going to participate in this activity, and as far as the maximum number of user is reached, they can talk the user that they are accepted or not. So this is the false true that is working here.
And then at some point you determine the total number of tokens then for that activity based on that number when you get it?
You are going to get the number of tokens that is identified when you create the activity. But for instance, this is more or less how rewards work. And imagine you have blocked 10 tokens because you want to talk with the next director, but there are just 10 people that are allowed to talk with him. If 20 employees want to talk with them, there are 20 employees that have blocked 20 tokens. So the employees that are not allowed to talk with this guy will have the tokens back. Okay, so the area is who approves, who can spend or not the tokens in a reward. Okay. Sorry, we can't hear you.
No, we can hear you.
We can't hear you.
So then is that transaction reversed?
Sorry, can you repeat?
Is that, so when the, 11, 12, 20th person gets the tokens back, is that then just a reversal transaction, or is the transaction just not happened yet?
In fact, it's not a reversal because there are different states. So they have blocked them, but they are not sent to the area because the area has to approve this transaction. So they are blocked, but they are not spent.
Yes, got it. Yeah, so you've got an approval workflow. Understood.
So, Raul, just a time check because we're coming up on our hour. How are we on time, and how do you want to manage the rest of the meeting and follow-up?
This is mainly what we wanted to show you. So if you have any questions regarding that, what we would like to share with you is the whole picture. So from a technical perspective, what are the building blocks that we are using, and the building blocks that led us to create a new project not from scratch, but using these learnings in this project, both the technical learnings, both the usability learnings, the legal ones, and so on. So if you have any questions now or by email, please ask.
Okay, no, this is fantastic, and thanks so much for sharing this with us. I think it helped us with a lot of the things that we're struggling with as well, and I think is a good base for thinking about how we might collaborate, because we also have actors, we have actions. I have questions on the whole token economy and how you value the token. We have a marketplace. There's lots of areas, I think, of potential collaboration that we can explore. But maybe I can take that offline with you, Raul, and kind of collect some of the questions, because I think we're going to have a lot. But why don't I go through and just see if there are any burning questions before we close out here. So let me start with Merrick and then go to the Colombia team. Merrick, any key questions you have at this point while we're on?
Hello?
Merrick, we cannot hear you.
It seems they have some problems there.
Yeah. Okay, let's hold Merrick this one. It's going to type your question into the chat maybe. Let's go to Jorge. Jorge, ¿tienes alguna pregunta?
Yeah. 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 Yeah, it depends on the needs of every area. There are some areas that imagine, I don't know, the volunteers in Telefónica that create some activity for this Friday, just this Friday. So they wait for the people that has signed for this, has applied for this activity to identify if they are working or not this Friday. So in the afternoon, they send the whole tokens to the people that has participated in. Not only the people that wanted to participate, but the people that in fact have participated. So sometimes it's just some hours from difference between the activity and the reward. And sometimes the area decide that there are a monthly process, a monthly period in which every people that have worked with us in learning activities for a month, and the last day of the month, they send the tokens to the users. And there are another areas that want to do it immediately. So as far as you has finalized some kind of course in our intranet, as far as you finalize, at the same time you click the last button, you receive your tokens. So it depends in the area. They have the tools to send the tokens when they want. No, not in this scenario. But imagine you have 10 tokens. You are a user, okay? Imagine you have 10 tokens and you want to visit 42, and this is 5 tokens, okay? So there are just one visit per month in 42, and just for 50 people. Imagine, okay? So I want to go to 42, so I block 5 of my 10 tokens, but I have to wait for the area to confirm that I can go this month to 42, okay? So if they confirm that, my 5 blocked karmas are going to this area wallet, okay? I'm going to spend these 5 karmas because I'm going to know 42, but if I'm not allowed to go this month, they return me the 5 tokens that I have blocked. So I have the 10 tokens that I had, okay?
I'm going to show this if you want.
No, but I guess we are out of time.
Yeah, okay.
But if you have any question on the functionality of Karma or technical details or whatever, please ask us through Raul.
Yes.
And we are happy to share.
Raul, Cesar, and Jorge, thank you very much.
Thank you.
No questions. I think our whole team will have a whole bunch of questions if it's okay with you, what I would recommend is that we will kind of write down our questions and send them to Raul. And then we can kind of continue the dialogue offline. And then Raul, we can follow up on next steps, both from a technical perspective and from a partnership perspective of how we might be able to move forward. I think, speaking for the team, there's a lot of interest, there's a huge amount of synergies, and I think there's a lot of ability. But I think let's answer our questions. We'll talk with our team, and then we can send you a note and follow up individually with you maybe later on in the week, Raul, if that's okay.
Sure, that's a good idea, and we will send you also the question in a document, so everybody has also we can create here a group or whatever. So no problem. Just let me know the question. I will send to the team here, and we will keep in touch to see the next steps and the next meeting that we have. Okay.
Awesome. Thanks so much, guys. This is fantastic.
Have a good day.
Bravo.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Gracias.
Ciao.